we had collected these three flashcards. It's essentially asking the same thing, so I will try to kind of shorten this, hopefully. So the question is in regards to kind of what you'll be doing as governor to try to incorporate the Somali community into your office, and also to support Somali American candidates. And it also mentioned how you said you've been to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota actually has 7 elected officials who are Somali American. It was recently Ilhan Omar, who was elected, who's going to be the first congresswoman ever, the first Muslim, the first female, the first Somali ever. And there's also Abdi Warsame. He was elected for the first time back in 2013, becoming the first Somali ever elected. There's also A.K. Hassan, who is currently a park board commissioner. There is 2 young girls that are both in school board. There's a city council woman, recently elected as well. So it seems like Minnesota is making a lot of progress. And there's also a Professor Chambers who teaches at OSU who did a study to try to compare the Somali diaspora in Minnesota to that of Ohio to figure out what's going on, what's this discrepancy. Seems that we have a pretty large community here. Why is there not progress, both politically, economically, socially? And kind of one of the findings was that essentially the kind of political arena in Ohio is very different, and it's not as welcoming as it is in Minnesota. So I guess the question is what you would do as governor to try to incorporate the Somali community both politically, socially, whether it's working at the governor's mansion or whether it's candidates that are running for the first time.
Yes, I will have a very open and diverse administration. We will, I just said it to you, we will want to lift up all parts of Ohio. We want everyone to be engaged, and we want everyone to have opportunity. And we can't afford to shut people out or leave people behind and have this be the kind of state that we want it to be. It won't be as strong a state if some people are shut out. And it also won't be the kind of state that we can respect and be proud of. So that's important. When I was at the Consumer Bureau, and by the way, you'll see a lot of things on television, and I wouldn't trust most of them, including some of the ads that are running right now. When I was at the Consumer Bureau, we had the most diverse agency among the financial agencies, with 38% of our workforce that was diverse, and we worked on diversity and inclusion, and we created an Office of Women and Minority Inclusion, and we created an EEO office there. We were building the agency from scratch. And we also looked at how people were discriminated against in the financial marketplace, where there were certain communities where lending was not occurring, or where lending was occurring, but the loans that were being made were worse there than they were in other communities. And we enforced the fair lending law against that kind of discrimination, which unfortunately is still all too present in America today. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were critical of us being aggressive about enforcing the fair lending laws equally. And a lot of people found ways to criticize us and to tell stories that were very, very different from what we were doing. But I will say that, as I said before, the Office of Opportunity for New Americans that Governor Kasich created, and it's just getting underway. You know, it's just really starting to be formed, and much of the direction of that will be dependent upon who the next governor is, because we only have a few months left of the Kasich administration. But it is there, the framework is there, and we can turn it into something powerful that will create more opportunity across state government for all communities, including the Somali community. And I do believe that the Somali community here in Columbus is on the verge of making significant breakthroughs in leadership. There are people from this community serving in lots of different positions now in our community, and as they start to rise in their different organizations, this community will be similar to the community in Minnesota. They're a little bit ahead of us on the curve. Maybe they're a little bit more engaged at the moment, but this community has the same potential, and I'd like to see that potential realized here in Central Ohio, and New Americans' potential realized across the state. It always takes some time for new communities to come to the United States and make breakthroughs. And it was true, by the way, of Irish and Italians and German Americans, you know, back when. There's nothing new about that, but it will happen if you push forward and make it happen. But we will have a different direction in state government that is more welcoming and more inclusive, and that's important, as I said, for many, many reasons for the future of this state.
su-aashana weydiiyey su-aal muhiim